Alright guys, how's it going? It is Monday the 6th of September 2021 and you're watching KopTalk.tv in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs, that's right. How are you doing? You alright? Now listen, I'm making this video really to update you really, just let you know I'm still alive, and that some of you will know that last week I was admitted to hospital with severe chest pains. That was the 1st of September, the morning after the transfer window closed. So I think Fsg nearly killed me. They did put it down to stress as well. I haven't, been at work since. Probably, since then. I've shown my face on the members' website and the little chat room and that, and letting people know I'm alright and stuff like that. It was a very scary incident. I know, I like a laugh and a joke, and that it was nothing to do with diet or anything like that, or people are like, oh, it's because you're on that diet, you've been doing that diet, or you've had too much to drink, or you've had a party or something. It's nothing to do with that. Obviously I lost a lot of weight over the last couple of years, and if I hadn't been on that diet I'd probably be dead now. During that time I was on 3 different medications for high blood pressure. I lost all the weight and went down to 1 tablet, and the last year or so, during the pandemic and everything, I've gradually gained a couple of stone back really, which is fine. I can get rid of that easily, but because I've still lost an immense amount of weight. So they put it down to a combination of the medication failing when I was obviously a lot bigger. I used to be bigger. I used to check my blood pressure every day, and I haven't been doing that for months now, and gradually it's been creeping up, and that's why they call it the silent killer, because you don't know until it's too late really. And also stress. I've had a lot of things going on in my life this year really, and just a combination of stress and the medication not working and stuff like that. So I was in another town, and I was by myself, and I was in my car just parked up, and I wasn't moving or anything. I was just sat there, and I just felt this pain, here on my left chest, left side of my chest, if you like, and it started to move across to the centre. And at this point, I started taking some deep breaths. I thought, well, just breathe and get rid of it, kind of thing. And that didn't work. So I got out of my car and walked around the car a few times, thinking that might, but it just continued to get worse, and it spread right across to my right chest, my right side of my chest. And I then started to think, I could pass out here, something seriously wrong. So I basically put my house keys, my mobile phone in the car, secured the car, thinking, well, at least if I, collapse on the floor, no one's going to get away with my phone and my house keys and things like that. So I did that, and I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll look for the police. I know what you're thinking, I should have phoned an ambulance, but when you're an old git like me, you think, oh, it's just a bit of indigestion or something like that. I thought if I see a policeman, because there's usually police in that area, this little town area, I thought I'll just flag one down and say, I'm not feeling too good, can you just keep an eye on me? Because I was more bothered about my car, because I knew where I'd left my car was a legal place to park. It's stupid, the things you think. So I was just trying to be organised, I guess. And the pain didn't go down, I didn't see the police, and I just thought, the best thing I can do is get in the car. This is going to be the quickest thing, and get to the medical centre. Urgencies, emergencies, a medical centre or a hospital. And then I realised I didn't have my medical card on me, and I knew that would create a lot of complications, the language barrier and things like that. I thought, at least if I show my card, they know who I am, what medication I'm on and everything, especially if something goes wrong, So I realised I had to go home, so I drove home very, very fast. Like an emergency, if you like, and I was flying over speed bumps, and I don't know, I didn't brake my car, to be honest. And at one point, as the pain was increasing, as I was driving home, which I know some of you might think was irresponsible to drive home, and maybe it was, but at the time when you're panicking, you don't know what to do. I thought, oh, I'm going to have to drive straight to the emergencies. I'm not even going to get home. But I did. Fortunately, I have a doctor's surgery which is literally a few doors away from my house, and I thought, well, I'll go there. So I got in my house, managed to get home. I hadn't taken my medication that morning. I was a little bit late, but it probably wasn't because of that, although I guess it would have helped. I was probably 3 hours later than normal taking my medication. Took my medication, glass of water, got changed into some really clean clothes because I was out and about early, so I'd have just thrown anything on. I thought, well, if I'm going to hospital, I need to make sure I'm okay. Dressed accordingly. This is all you could be dying, and you want to get dressed. And yeah, I got to represent. What I'm saying, guys. And by the time I'd done this, I had a glass of water, took my meds, put clean clothes on. The pain was decreasing. I was like, oh, okay, no worries, it's going. Now I had a very similar situation like this back in May, I think it was, and I remember at the time it was exactly the same thing, but not as painful that time. And I played it down and put it down to indigestion. But I was that scared then. I was in the house on my own back in May, that I remember locking up the house, getting my medical card and standing at the gate to the street, because I thought if I keel over in the house, no one's going to know. If I keel over in the street, someone's going to see me. So that's how serious it was in me, what my mind was thinking. But the pain went, and I was very scared at the time, but it went, and I thought, oh, it's just a bit of indigestion or something like that, and this is what I was thinking last week. So the pain, went away, and I spoke to my medical translator and said, look, this has happened today. Can you get me an appointment this week at the doctor's? And she was like, are you for real? I said, no, I'm all right. I don't like a foot, because I'm like, guys, to get medication down me or to a doctor's surgery, there's got to be something seriously wrong with me. She said, are you for real? We have to get you to, emergencies. They need to check you out, Dunk. I was like, for fuck's sake. So we went to the local medical emergencies place, which isn't a hospital, but it's not a doctor's surgery, it's sort of in between. And I did the ECG and all that, and they gave me a tablet to put under my tongue, and the guy said, we think you've had an angina attack. Now, I have no history of anything like this. He said, so you have to go to the hospital. So, cut a long story short, went to the hospital, got admitted immediately. The Spanish healthcare system was amazing. They took, did all the everything that you would do when you go into a hospital anyway. They put the thing on you, they take your blood pressure. I had another ECG in various different positions. And then they said, we're going to take some blood. It's going to take 3 hours to test that, and then we need to do another test 3 hours apart or something. I can't remember really. At this point, I was starting to get a bit, worried. And then in the evening, they moved me into what's called an observation ward, where you're hooked up to the machine and it's like bleeping away, it's fucking scary, all that shit. Like, it brought back a lot of memories of my mum, because obviously she went into hospital for heart surgery, routine heart surgery, and didn't come out after 8 months. So you can imagine what was going through my mind. And it wasn't nice. And I was very, very scared. I'll be honest with you. I like a laugh and a giggle and that, but yeah, I was scared, yeah, definitely. And on the way to hospital, I did have a little cry, and I thought my time was up, like. And so they kept me in the observation bay, turned all the lights off, in the evening, about half 11 or something. And trying to get an answer out of them was very difficult, because it wasn't the doctor that admitted me, it was just, the nurses or whatever, and, some of them spoke perfect English, some didn't. My translator's not there, obviously, at this time. And I was like, what's happening? Because actually the doctor came in first and said, your first blood results are fine. They're okay. Well, I'll be back in we'll come back in 3 hours and tell you about the other bloods. So 3 hours passed and nobody came, or whatever amount of time passed. And I asked someone, I said, can you tell me what's happening? Like, am I all right? And they said, oh, no, your second result's not good. You're staying tonight. And I went, what? Where's the doctor? What do you mean I'm staying? So at this point, I'm getting like quite worried. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, they're going to take me, surgery or something, like, and very, very frightened. You know, I'm a pussy when it comes to anything like that, guys, honestly, and I've got a good reason to be. So I said to the guy, I said, well, why am I said, so the first tests are okay, second not? And he said, yeah. And I said, so have I had a heart attack then or what? And he went, yes, you've had a heart attack. I was like, oh, great, yeah, thanks for telling me. So I gets my head down as best as I could. I laid there all night, terrified, listening to this machine, and my pulse was racing at 200 during the night, and the alarm kept going off and things like this. It was fucking awful. Everything went through my mind that night, everything. And 6:30, 7 a.m. or something like that, I remember a nurse saying to me, Duncan, you know, you go into a room now. And I was like, I had no idea where I was going, guys. I was like, am I going to theatre? Are they taking me? You know, I didn't know what was happening. Anyway, they took me to what was called a trauma ward, and but I didn't know that at the time. And I spoke to the lad pushing the wheelchair, took me in a wheelchair, fuck's sake. And you know, he didn't speak, and nobody knew what was going on really. And I got one really helpful nurse when I was in the bed. They said, you've got to get in this bed. You can't get out of the bed. If you need to piss in this, blah, blah, blah. You can't move. You need to stay in bed. And I said, what's happening? You know, they told me I had an heart attack last night. He said, no, you've not had an heart attack. It's possibly an angina attack. I was like, okay. So I'm Googling away on all these things. My granddad had angina and died from it. So I don't know what else to say really. So they took me later. I don't know if it was later that day or the next day. I can't remember. My blood pressure was through the roof. It was incredible readings, like 180, 190 over 110, 120 or something. And usually man's like, what, 120, 70 or something. You know, it's usually under control. I honestly can't remember the events, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to find something that I wanna tell you. Let me have a look. This one, Smooth, my boy Smooth. It was really I was really looked after by my friends and everything, as you can imagine. Where are we? Smooth was good, without a doubt. So where was I? So I get to see the cardiologist eventually, and I'm taken to another room. You know, they wheeled me up there, and they checked my heart. You know, one of those ultrasound scans. Is that what it's called? You know, like with the gel on and and they said, oh no, your heart's fine. You've not had a heart attack. You've not had an angina attack. Your heart's fine, it's in good condition, there's no blockages, everything's fine for a guy of your age and your weight, etc. Which was nice. So to hear that, trust me. And she said, so what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a heart stress test, where we put you on a treadmill. Me on a treadmill, that'd kill me just the thought of it. And it's funny you should say that, right? Funny I should say that, because at that point I started to get the same pain again in my chest while I was with the cardiologist. Now, you couldn't have been in a better place, could you? And I went, it's coming back. So there was 4 or 5 people, including the cardiologist. I'm getting a phone call. How do I mute that? Right. So while I'm having this, you know, I had the test, you know, the scan or whatever, I start having this the pain coming back, you know, and she's like, right, okay, and they all started fucking running around and hooking me up to all these different wires to do an ECG while it was in process and everything, and basically my blood pressure was through the roof again. And she said to me, you know, this is the problem, it's your blood pressure. And they gave me a tablet, quickly went and got a tablet, brought it back to me, gave me it, and the pain started to decrease. So she said, we can't do the treadmill test today because your blood pressure is too high. You're going to have to stay in hospital until the blood pressure decreases. I was devastated because I thought I was getting out that day, you know, but then I realised that you can't just dismiss these things, you know. So I obviously was kept in, you know, and I did a few days in hospital or whatever. When the blood pressure went down, I went and did the stress test, which was very difficult, I'll be honest with you. It was a treadmill, it was 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. I can do a lot in 3 minutes usually. Like slow walk, then a little bit faster, and really, you know, quite a walk. But what made it difficult was I didn't have any trainers on. I had these stupid like bits of green cloth over my feet because I'd been in the bed, you know, and I was barefooted, so they put these things on my feet. But I had one of them masks on, you know, the mask. I had this one of these, look, you know. So I had this on a treadmill, right? I couldn't fucking breathe, guys, you know. And anyway, while you're on this test, they're constantly taking your you know, they've got the thing on there listening to your heart, and you've got all these different connections, cables on your body. So they're monitoring it all at the same time. You know, everything. Amazing people, very, very clever people. Anyway, I passed the stress test, and they said that I had, I've got it here, they said I didn't suffer a heart attack or an angina attack, it was a hypertensive crisis, which is basically very high blood pressure. Not high blood pressure like through the fucking, like I had no idea, which can trigger heart failure or a stroke. And I passed the test. They basically said, we're going to change your medication. You need to go home and rest and stuff like that, which is why I wasn't around for a few days. And so I was eventually, you know, discharged from hospital. And some of you guys will remember when my mum was in hospital 10 years ago, but before she died, bless her. Obviously before she died. A Liverpool fan contacted me when he heard about what was happening with my mum, and he was a professor of cardiology in Michigan, I think, in America. And he, over the 8 months, was a fantastic rock to me. He was, I don't want to mention him by name because maybe he doesn't want me to mention him by name. And he doesn't seem like the sort of person that wants any, you know, thank yous or anything. He's just a Liverpool fan who wanted to help me 10 years ago. And every day when my mum was in the hospital, I used to photograph my mum's notes, ECGs, medication, everything, and send it to him by email. He would reply and give me unofficial advice and questions to mention. And at one of those times, one of the things that my mum had been prescribed, she shouldn't have been on, and he saw that. And when I questioned that, they crossed it off and went, yeah, you're right. Right? So you can imagine how grateful I am to this guy. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sure I will have contacted him at the time when my mum died and everything, but I've never spoke to him since. And that's not because I'm rude, and it's not because I'm ignorant or anything. It's because it's a subject that I just can't discuss. And talking to him would bring it all back. So anyway, so I haven't spoke to him for probably 10 years or something. And obviously, the other day I had to mention on the members' website and things. What was such a pussy. I had to mention to the members why I wasn't around, and people on the podcast and things like this, because I take, these people support me, you guys support me, especially if you're a member of my YouTube channel and shit, and I can't just disappear and tell people without telling people what's going on. Anyway, he saw the post, he discovered that I was having a problem, with my heart or whatever. And he emailed me again out of the blue, and he said, "Do you remember me, Dunk?" And I was like, "Of course I remember you, man. Never forget you in my life." And he just said, "Look, I'm here for you. If you need any help with anything, I'm here for you." And the same, we went through the same thing again. I was telling him what happened. What it may. He was telling me what it may be, what it should be. I haven't even had a proper chance to speak to him since I've been discharged. We spoke yesterday briefly in an email because I had some problems yesterday, even though I was home, and I was not feeling very well yesterday. And he told me, and he said, "Don't worry, you just stress of it all, and what's happened to your body." And the reason I'm making this video is, one, to update you as to where I've been and what's going on. For those of you that, walk with me, if you like, that you're not just here just to watch a daft video or something. You know, those of you that, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, at least I've got an heart left. But you guys, you know, a lot of you, you know, I've been here for 23 years doing the KopTalk thing, and a lot of you, you're like my friends. So this video is for you guys to say, look, this is what's happening. But the main reason for making this video is to tell you the story of this Liverpool fan on the other side of the world that reached out to support me 10 years ago. Now, I've told you about him 10 years ago, you know, and I've had other people do that as well, you know, help me when my mum was in hospital. Other Liverpool fans that have watched the video and recognised the hospital was in and said, I work there, I'll sort this out for you, done stuff like that. Amazing did the community that you can have with Liverpool fans. And I tell you what, guys, if any of you ever have any problems, you know, you've seen it on the members website. The way that people rally around together is incredible. And so, cut a long story short, you know, I spoke to this chap yesterday, and you know, he's an amazing man. He said it's also, I won't read it all out, but he said it's also expected to feel every twinge and palpitation after the scare you had. It is called cardiac awareness. It is also normal to feel a bit off if your blood pressure was not controlled and is now normal. He says, I will review your records when you send me the English translation, which I'm organising. But I suspect if you had a negative stress test, you may have had a case of hypertensive urgency, which is exactly what did happen. And I hope, you know, that he watches this video. I'll tell him this video, but I'll feel a bit embarrassed, you know. I just wanted you guys to know I'm all right, and I just wanted to thank him. And I wanted you guys to know that there's that Liverpool community is like, it's not all just about, you know, like transfer news or winning a game. You know, you never. When my mum was in hospital years ago, one of you guys, I'd love to know who it was on my Facebook, said, you'll never walk alone. It's not just a slogan, Dunk. It's a meaning of life, like a way of life. And it's always stuck with me that when someone said that to me, because a lot of people just put YNWA, and that's it. And they don't mean it sometimes, it's just automatic. You know, they might mean it in the, you know, in a good sense, but they're maybe not there for you when you need them. And I try to be there for every one of you watching this video, even if you're someone that doesn't like me watching this video. If you came to me and said, I'm fucked, Dunk, can you help? I'd do everything in my power to help you, you know, even if you fucking hate me. That's just the way I am. And I just feel like I didn't walk alone. And I tell you something else, this is a really good, funny story. I think you'll find it funny. When I was laid down in with the cardio, I wish I was laid down with her, she was fit. Okay, I keep the blood pressure down. When I was laid down in the cardiology room, she was there. There was a lad, obviously one of the nurses or assistants or whatever, was working the machine, the ultrasound scan. And he said, your heart is beating like it will never walk alone. Now, I thought that was fucking great, because he said to me, what, you're from England? I said, yeah. And he went, which football team? I said, Liverpool. And he went, yes, like this, you know. And he says, your heart is beating Liverpool like you'll never walk alone. And I thought, oh, but you know what I mean? Like football, how football comes into your life, even at a time when you're absolutely shitting your pants. And when I did the stress test on the treadmill, he was there again that day. And he said, imagine you're walking for Liverpool, come on, because he kept saying to me, can you do another 30 seconds, Duncan? Can you do another 30? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I was like, fuck, you know what I mean, guys? And he was like, you know, there was a picture on the wall. He went, imagine that is Anfield, walk, like you'll never walk alone. And I just felt like I'd never walk again, to be honest with you. So it's just funny how football comes over into it. And I'll tell you one more story before I go. Eventually I was put in a room, two beds in one room, in the Spanish health system. And I had the room to myself the majority of the time. And right at the end, I was in bed like one night, you know, 10 o'clock. I turned all the lights out. I closed the door because there was people screaming and let me out and all this going on. It was fucking like a horror movie. And so I'm trying to sleep in this room. I'm feeling a bit more relaxed now. You know, they've told me I hadn't had a heart attack or angina attack. They told me it was high blood pressure, this hypertensive crisis or whatever, and with the right medication we could get it under control and your heart would be okay. My heart was okay, which the relief, guys, of hearing that, you've no idea. The first night I thought I was fucking dead. this, the door flew open. You know, you can imagine what Spanish people like. There's no like, oh, tap, 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 open the door. Hello, are you awake? Like you would probably get in England with the NHS. Like, fucking doors are open, lights are on, and I was like, what's going on? And this guy says, you're getting a companion, and I was like, what? I thought, oh, here we go. I'm gonna get some fucking like 82-year-old Spaniard pissing, farting, screaming all night long, dying next to me or something. And I was like, oh, great. I've winged it for a few days on my own. Like, now I'm never going to sleep tonight, Maybe that's a little bit selfish, but if you've been in hospital a few days and you can't sleep, guys, trust me, all you want to do is sleep. And anyway, this woman comes in and she speaks to me in Spanish. I said to her in Spanish, I said, look, I don't speak Spanish much, like, a little bit un poco or whatever. And she said, you speak English? I went, yeah. And she went, and where are you from? I said, Inglaterra, I'm from England. She went, oh, perfect. And I said, why? And then she started speaking a little bit in English. And she said, my friend is English. He's coming here to this room. And she explained he'd been in the hospital all day with blood clots in his legs and everything, and his chest. I said, oh, okay. I thought, well, that's good, isn't it? It's going to be someone English. And going by her age, he's probably going to be about 50, something like that, 45, 50, and she said, he's English, so that'd be nice for you both, and I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds all right. So where's he from? She went, Manchester. I was like, oh, for fuck, they're trying to kill me, or what? Manchester. As soon as she said Manchester, I was like, oh, here we go, we're going to be talking about fucking football all night, arguing and that. Anyway, cut long story short, he was a brilliant guy. He's a comedian, not because he supports Manchester United. No, he doesn't. He's not really bothered about that, I don't think. No, he's a comedian in the resort here, down in the holiday resort. And I couldn't have been put, I couldn't have had another person put in the room on my wavelength. We stayed up till 1, 2 in the morning talking. He was like rummaging in his bag. He went, do you want some crisps, Dunk? Do you want some sandwiches? I turned them down, right? And although in the morning I did have a sneaky Kit Kat off him. That's not a euphemism or anything. And we've stayed in touch. He's already messaged me today, and I've messaged him, and we're going to meet up when he gets out of hospital. Bless him. It was a really, really nice guy, and I felt terrible when I got discharged because he. I just knew that he'd be going through the same thing, and I messaged him last night. I said, "You've still got the room to yourself," and he went, "Yeah, fortunately." And then later in the evening, he sent me a little video of a little Spanish old man tottering around the end of the bed, and he went, "Things changed, Dunk." And he sent me loads of messages saying he's had me up all night. Anyway, so we can get some laughter and giggle out of these things. And he said, it was a wake-up call for him, his lifestyle. My lifestyle's greatly improved, that. But this year has been a very, very difficult year for me, and I found myself going out more because I was on my own a lot more than I usually would be, and I'd be going out for company and things. Still only drinking a couple of times a week, but you guys that have been on the streams, I'm not used to drinking vodka. I like Magners, and it can really burn you a little bit, It was a combination, they think, of stress, and the medication certainly stopped working, and because I hadn't been monitoring my blood pressure, obviously it was sneaking up. Google it, the silent killer, blood pressure. You don't know what's happening until it hits you. And I tell you what, guys, the pain that I got that day last week, I shit my pants. I've never, and I don't even need to tell you, I was terrified. All right. So as far as I'm concerned, moving forward, I'm not supposed to be recording this video now. I'm not supposed to be. They've told me to rest all week, but I have responsibilities, and the members have been great with me. You guys that I know a lot of you guys watch my videos, but a lot of the people, well, not a lot, but I do have guys that are members of my channel. And when I say guys, I mean boys and girls. And it is my responsibility is to work for you. You support me, and the same with the podcast as well. I'll have to do something on the podcast, or maybe I'll just copy the audio from this onto there. I don't know. I can't do my normal day's work at the moment, and it might sound a bit dramatic or like I'm exaggerating things or anything, but I did actually go out yesterday for an hour for the first time, and I was sat with a group of friends, and they were like, "It's very quiet, isn't it? It's really quiet. Dunk's here and it's quiet. What's going on? We don't like it." And they all said that we don't like it. But I was sat there with them, and I was having palpitations and not feeling right, which is why I messaged the cardiology Liverpool fan in America to ask him, and I just didn't feel right, even though I was out and about. So even though I was sat still, I didn't feel right, and I went home. I said, I need to go home. Obviously, I wasn't drinking or anything. I just wanted to show my face. I know it's a face that I shouldn't be showing. So I went home. So again, I should be resting really. So I'm going to try and cross the door today. I'm going to try and see my friends today. I meet them on a Monday and Friday, and I will go there. And if I'm okay, I'll stay for a little bit. If not, I'll come home. That's it really. So. But like I said, moving forward, I'm going to continue with my health kick. I'll be a lot more serious with it now. It's been difficult over the last year or so, up and down. Gained a couple of stone back, even though I was 12 stone heavier at one time. Some people have said, you need to stop that diet now. That's what's put in. It's like, you haven't a fucking clue, mate. What are you talking about? The doctor said to me everything was perfect, with that regard. And if I'd have had all that weight, I would have died. I think it's just because people, they don't want to accept that something can work for someone. I don't know. But I will make a conscious effort when I feel a little bit better to be more active, because I live a very sedentary lifestyle, sat in my chair, sat in my lounge, sat in the car, and it's been very hot, so I haven't been out on the bike or anything. But I'll give it this week, and then I'm going to make a proper effort to exercise and get this heart pumping. I'll monitor my blood pressure every day, and I feel like I know this is going to sound corny, but I feel like I've got another chance at life. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, "Why don't you're all right?" Yeah, but when it happened, and I thought I was dying, and when I was in hospital that night, and looking at my machine above me and seeing my heart at 1 o'clock in the morning going up to 200 beats a minute, and the alarm going, the red light and stuff, it scared me. And everything to do with my history with my mum, scared me. My granddad, I remember he went for his angina test. I remember he died. They said, "You're perfect. You're in great health, Neil. You're in a good shape." He died the next day of heart attack. You remember all these things, even though I was 10. And the memories of the 8 months I spent in hospital with my mum will scar me for life. I was very, 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 very scared on that first night, and I thought I was done. And because I haven't been done as yet, I assume that maybe I'm okay. I will check my blood pressure today. I feel like I've got another chance, because that night I thought maybe tomorrow I'll be dead, or what, you just think you might die any second. You do, honest guys. You fucking swear down, unless you've been in that position and situation, you'd never understand it. So I'm here. I'm still here, and I'm going to try and look after myself a bit more, and that's all I can say really. So I do feel like I've got another go at it, and that's what my mate said next to me in that hospital bed. He said, it's a little wake up call, don't you know? So and we're going to meet up when he gets out. We even said let's go walking together, stuff like that, which is nice, isn't it? So anyway, listen, I know this is a very, very long video. It's from the heart, no pun intended. I thought it was important to tell you what's been going on, and I can't thank those of you that know what happened enough for it. You've emailed me, you've sent me private messages, you've posted messages on the members forum, you've done all sorts, and I probably haven't replied to a lot of them because I just can't. I haven't replied to some of my friends, I've tried to put the odd status on Facebook so people know what's going on. I just want to forget it all now and move forward. So if you support this YouTube channel, if you support the podcast, the members website, I might be a little bit AWOL this week, which is probably no different to any other week in August really, because we didn't do anything in the transfer market, which was very disappointing, and I blame FSG for my illness, because I think they stressed me out on the last day. So anyway, listen, I don't know what more to say other than thank you for still supporting me, watching my videos and shit like that. And I'm sorry if the video is really long. I wanted you to tell you what happened, and I wanted to recognise this Liverpool fan that was there for me when I needed someone. And if you have been in touch with me by email and stuff, I will obviously respond in due course, all right? I had to get all that off my chest. At least I've still got a chest left. Maybe not a chest that you could pin a medal on, but it's I've still got a chest. So that's it, guys. Thank you, and we'll speak soon. Oh, P.S. If you are on the members website, I will be recording a video for you guys specifically. I am going to put this on the members website as well, but I will record a video for you as well, separate to this one, not to repeat the same stuff, just to talk about other things, but that probably won't be today. Okay, all right guys, take care, and we'll speak real soon.